Aztec Records have dished up a very tasty live album from Melbourne rock pioneers Madder Lake. The Live Adventures of Madder Lake, 1973 to 2008, is exactly that, a series of live performances spanning 4 decades. I'm Paul Cashmere. I caught up with Brenden Mason of Madder Lake. And we welcome into noise11.com Brenden Mason to talk about Madder Lake. And well, everything old is new again, as they say, Brenden, and this is the old that is new again through Aztec Records. We've got Madder Lake and the Live Adventures of Madder Lake, and I have to read this to get the dates right, 1973 to 2008.
Not a problem.
The first thing that I heard when I heard this for the first time was the quality of the sound. Were you blown out of the water when you actually went back and listened to you performing nearly 50 years ago?
Absolutely, Paul. Look, Gil does an absolutely masterful job on all these re-releases, and it's great the way he's preserved them for the future, and absolutely staggering how amazing when you think about how long ago they were recorded, possibly what they were recorded on, how good they come up.
Where were these tapes all these years?
Oh, look, in in tape collections, in cardboard boxes, in suitcases with paper clippings, all over the place. I've been one of the historians of Madder Lake, and I've got an incredible amount of recordings and stuff. I've been relatively anal all my life. Even I've got rehearsal recordings. So I've got a lot of stuff, and I've got it pretty well catalogued too.
Now, the earliest recordings on the Live Adventures of Madder Lake date back to 1973. So how long had the band been around in 1973?
Well, at that stage, very early 70s and right up until now, 2020. Although 2020's kiboshed us a bit because, as I might have mentioned to you, not only do I play in Madder Lake, but I also play in Spectrum. And basically last year was Spectrum or Mike Rudd's 50th anniversary. And we were doing double bills with Madder Lake and Spectrum. And this year was Madder Lake's 50th. And unfortunately, it's been squashed with the virus. So we'll have to do the 51st birthday for Madder Lake.
With 1973 and you're playing at Sunbury, whereabouts on the bill were you at Sunbury?
Well, we started the very first Sunbury. We were the very first band on. And as much as it was a privilege, it was probably a little bit of a hindrance insofar as they still had to get the PA together. They were doing a lot of filming, and I think even the filming side of things went a little bit by the wayside too. So we actually we were the official first band on the bill. Although the night before there was a little bit of jamming and a little bit of mucking around, but we were the first band on the official first Sunbury program.
We can jump from 1973 to 1982 now, the Sydney Myer Music Bowl. I remember that gig. 10th anniversary of Mushroom, maybe?
Yep. And that gig was the first gig that my daughter ever saw me perform on stage. And I'm sure from that day on, she thought every time Dad went out to perform, he was doing a gig like that, which wasn't the reality. But nevertheless, it was quite impressive to show my daughter that.
Did you reform for that show?
Well, look, the band has never really broken up. There's been stages there where we've stopped playing for various reasons, whether it be someone leaves the band. And in the actual life of Madder Lake, there's been a few changes in the band. But basically, we've never stopped. And any time that we've been off the scene, we've still been communicating together, getting together, writing songs, playing, but not necessarily performing in the public arena.
There were 2 iconic albums out of the 70s, and both of these are now available with thanks to Gil Matthews and Aztec Records. The first one was, I guess this was the iconic album, wasn't it? and then there was also Butterfly Farm.
Butterfly Farm.
But
now the two,
when we talk about the songs that people know from Madder Lake, they hover around this record.
Absolutely. The two main differences in both of those LPs is that Still Point was recorded with the original keyboard player, Johnny McKinnon, and then the second one, Butterfly Farm, Johnny McKinnon was outed out of the band and Andy Cowan came into the band. And he immediately injected a whole different flavour into the band. So hence, it was nearly a different sound of Madder Lake. There was a lot more technical keyboard pieces put in there and a lot of different sounds. But essentially, the Still Point LP, and the other thing was that the Still Point LP was a culmination of songs that we'd formed the band around. We'd sort of got our legs as far as becoming roadworthy and sort of being able to play those songs in a live environment. Whereas Butterfly Farm was more the exercise of, whoop, we've got to get another LP out. And that was a lot quicker writing process. And any band will say that when from the moment they write a song to the moment it gets sort of a bit sort of road worn and a bit settled, it can go through quite a few changes, and most of the time for the better.
Goodbye Lollipop was the song that we hear on here live from the Myer Music Bowl. Do you consider that to be, I guess, the signature tune for Madder Lake?
No, it was our no, I wouldn't consider it the signature tune by any means. 12-Pound Toothbrush was probably more the memorable and the signature tune for Madder Lake, but Goodbye Lollipop was an actual statement from the band of goodbye playing all the rubbish music that we had to play to be a band in the early stages. And it was a bit of a statement of we're breaking away from all that lollipop music to play what we want to play.
In my Eon FM days, I remember Song for Little Ernest. That was a song that we played a lot on the radio at Eon FM in the 80s.
You're a good man, Paul. You're a good man.
I show my age now, aren't I?
That's all right. Perfectly fine. Hey, I'm too.
That wasn't. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a single, was it? But it was a very important radio song in Melbourne at the time.
Yeah. Now, do you perchance remember a journalist called Doc Halliday or Holiday?
No.
Well, that song was he used to write for Duke and Daily Planet, and he was a good friend of the band. And basically, Margot Huxley was another friend of his. And basically, he wrote an article on us one time about Madder Lake. He said they were a fantastic band, loved them, great to dance to, but sometimes they were a little bit too earnest. And hence, that's where that song come from. It was in honour of Doc.
Some fantastic live performances here. Sydney 1978, Sunbury 1973, Garrison 1973, more Sunbury in 74, Victorian Country Town 1974, Sydney Myer Music Bowl 1982, and Musicland was 2008. So that brings us full circle with the 21st century Madder Lake.
Yeah. And in towards the end there too is our last LP, which was World, which unfortunately with World, we spent probably about close to a year, 2 years working on that. And then when we got to the point of releasing World, unfortunately, Mickey had to leave the band due to ill health. And then Mickey passed away, which really put a bit of a kibosh on being able to promote World.
Yeah.
But we're quite
Madder
proud.
Lake still does exist as a band.
100%.
In 2021, maybe we might see some more shows. I doubt we'll see anything this year.
Absolutely right there, Paul. Yeah, no, we're busting to go again. And we've got a lot of new songs too that are on the agenda.
Or a new record?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay, there's life in Madder Lake. How old were you when you started this band and how old are you now?
I'm 69 now. And basically, I probably would have been about 17, 18 when I started.
There you go. That's a lifetime of music out of one name, Madder Lake. Fantastic. Thank you, Brenden.
It
It
sure
was
is.
very good to hear this story.
Thank you very much, Paul, for the time too, mate. Keep up the good work.